So this is why I love living in the future. This is a video probably mostly just for me to remember back what I've done. But um, this is my made some updates. I've been working on my traveler sector generation Python code, generating traveler sectors, and trying to work to leverage some of the other good work that other smarter people than I have done. And anyway, let me just get started, and I'll show you what I've done. So in theory, we're gonna start with a fresh sector that I've never seen before. I'll call it time 56. We'll put 56 seed on that. And of course, this is available. If I think of it, I'll put a link to the GitHub repository. And when I created this, the whole purpose was for me. I wanted a database. I'm a database guy. I wanted a database of all of the data for every sector available. That's what I wanted. I didn't want images and pictures and things. I wanted all of the data, and that worked well. And I had that, so we're done. Hey, it worked, thankfully. And we can come in, and I have here now. This is the new database. We call it Time 56, and I can go in, and this is what I like, is having everything that I need to see in here, and being able to browse or write SQL code to pull out any type of stat that I want and look for things that I want to look for. But ultimately, there's a point where you need more than just data, and I sort of realized I needed to be able to browse, and I've showed this in a previous video where you can go in and you can browse. But the thing that was lacking, as we go over here and see, is I thought, I'm gonna need a way to just sort of see a subsector and see the UWPs and ideally look at beyond just the sector. If I want to put two sectors together, I'm gonna need this sort of a visual representation, a real map. This what I have here is not a real map. It is a graphical representation, but I'm going to need like a real map of what this stuff does. So I mentioned before about how Travellermap, although all of the bells and whistles use the OTU, if you have your own custom, they have a page you can go in and copy and paste and use Travellermap. And then even that got too long for me, so I made the world's lamest script, HTML script, to leverage with leverage their API, and this will blow your socks off how incredibly sophisticated it is. But what we do is we go in and we just take the tab text and we take the roots text. These are created automatically when we created our sector, and we click submit. And in theory, if we click submit, this interfaces directly with the Travellermap good people at Travellermap, and there's an easier way to do it. This is the fastest. I shouldn't say there's an easier way to do it. There's a probably better way to do it. But I just threw that together in 2 seconds, and now I can have a visual representation of my sector that was just created, and I kind of like it actually. This is it's kind of neat how it works, and I can see there's a little bit of an issue with these important worlds are probably supposed to connect to these ones, so I might manually go in and add a bridge there. But that looks kind of cool, and I can log in, or excuse me, zoom in and navigate to a certain extent. But it is still somewhat limited. This is like a JPEG or a PNG or something. It's a PNG. And so I've been intrigued by Sean Driscoll's his work, and he's worked on something called PyMapGen. And if you're in COTI like I am, and he mentioned that in my thread, we were discussing this program. It's like, I would love to see it in mine. And I thought, that would be cool. So the way his works, actually really haven't talked in detail with Sean about it. We messaged him once or twice, but these date files are what he has in his source that his mapper reads, and they're produced by Travellermap. They're the exports from Travellermap. So you can if you were to go to GitHub and get a copy of his PyMapGen, you would go through the OTU. So in order to get my own custom stuff in there, I had to delete the OTU files and put in these sort of files. So I made sure now when we created time 56, it also created a file that works perfectly with Sean's. Now, these numbers correspond to the the Cartesian graph of the sectors you're making, because I have a number of sectors I already made. And if I want this to work with other sectors, essentially start building my MTU, I want more than one sector to look at. And that's one of the limitations of Travellermap. The poster is you just look at one. It's an image of one sector. If I want to look at this with other sectors, I'd like to be able to put them together. So now Sean's program is, of course, he'll point out it's a beta. I think it's great as it is, but it's not a finished product. So I don't want you to point out holes in his, or feel that you see holes in his program. He's kind enough to offer it out as a beta, but you can see the Cartesian 01, 01, 02, 01, 02, 02, 03, 01, 03, 02. And I should have in here, there's a gap at 0102. There's a gap. And if I load in, you would see a gap there. I want this to fit in the 0102. So all I'm going to do, well, I'll automate this eventually. For now, I'm just seeing if I can do it. So these things are being done manually. But right now, I can just do that. And I can bring this over here. And I can copy that over there. And now my 0102 falls in here. So if I run Sean's PyMapGen. Oh, I need to shut down my browser first. If I run Sean's PyMapGen, and we look up, and now we have there are 5 sectors, and I've added one here. I think it was this one here that I just created. And if we come in, and now what I'm able to do is see another visual representation, a map of the sectors that I'm creating. And of course, Sean it's not just an image. It's an app running, and I can take a look at see if I remember there. I can take a look at the UWPs, or take a look at the trade codes, and a quick image. I know Travellermap has options to change the visuals as well, but I like how Sean's got large planets and small planets, and it's an opportunity. It's another visual layer. Basically, when I was writing my program, I think deep down I knew. That's funny, Donald in capitals. This is all random names from thousands and thousands of names I pulled off the internet. But when I made my program, I knew eventually I'm going to have to need some sort of subsector viewer with UWP codes, because that's kind of how we're used to looking at the worlds and the subsectors, and it would be difficult to really just live in a world of a database, or live a world of a browser that I created that looks at like one planet at a time. And I don't see a need now to go off and create this within mind, because this is there, which is why I like living in the future. People are able to write their code and share it, and it's awesome. That Sean has been working on this and made it available in GitHub. So if you, for whatever reason, haven't seen it, I'll put the link to that as well. But I think this is great, and it allows for the sectors that I'm building for me to look at them through a different lens, right, and through a different mapping software, and it alleviates me from having to make mapping software a priority. I don't know if I ever need to build mapping software. I can continue doing the work that I want to do to improve the sector builder, and it's sciencey stuff, and it's just data stuff and stuff like that. So anyway, there it is. Feel free to hack around with my hack job of a program, which I'll have the link hopefully is in the description. And then if you are into the science fiction traveler stuff, I'll put a link into COTI where I discuss this type of stuff, and Sean's program as well. We'll put that there as well. Cool. Bye for now.